Greetings, folks. If it bleeds, it will die. And if it doesn't, we are gonna burn it alive. But Pasta, what if fire doesn't work? Well, stick and stones may break your bones, but acid will make sure there is nothing left. I'm here to deliver you an update for my Sanguine Sting bow build. Very strong, quite cheap to gear up. No need for super expensive arrows or an insane amount of upgrades. This build will work from the ground up. You don't need to be level 120 to control, halt, delete your enemies. I will show you my gear, how to get it, the attributes, the skill tree. So, let's begin. Okay, let's look at our gear. This build is based around Sanguine Sting. If you want, you can use another bow. However, I feel that this bow is really very good. Especially in the base game, it makes the leveling part very easy due to how strong it is. With each upgrade, the number of bleed inflicted every time you shoot an arrow will increase exponentially. That is quite strong. For the rest of the gear, I would suggest crafting the Corpsebinder set, because it's quite good and it's amazing on ranged character, and you will end up using pieces of Corpsebinder, especially the helmet and the gloves, even in your final setup. If you don't want to use Corpsebinder helmet, the alternative will be Crackshot wood. Crackshot wood is not necessary at the current stage on the build, because we can stagger thanks to the two-handed military, strangely enough. If that perk ends up getting nerfed, then we will use Crackshot wood to stagger enemies. Current stage, it's not necessary. For chest, you have three options. One is gonna be Corpsebinder. The other one will be Hardshot jacket. The main difference between the two is that Hardshot jacket has slightly more damage and will give you a resistance against ranged damage, which is also good, especially in this build. However, Corpsebinder will give you stamina cost decrease. The alternative will be Sneaky Archer Vambrace. Both Sneaky Archer and Hardshot come from Act 3. However, of the three, I would prefer Hardshot. For gloves, I would suggest you to just use Corpsebinder. For pants, you have several options. I use Volker Warborn, critical damage. The only thing is that it requires 12 points in strength. You can still do that toward the end of Act 3, which is where you get Warborn. If you do not want to put points in strength because you want to maximize your ranged damage or your crit is not high enough, the other option will be Crow, which will literally do pretty much almost the same, or Fledglings if you need the critical chance. Both Crow and Fledglings are from the Children of Morrigan questline that starts in Act 1. You will need to side with Self through the entire story. And yes, if you don't understand what Self is, that's the name of the lady in question. For boots, I would suggest Crow. If you cannot use Crow for some reason, Swing Blood Tracker from Act 3. The only issue with the Blood Tracker boots is that you will not hit weak spot damage all the time. For rings, Strong Arrow from the quest in Act 2. In New Game Plus, you can even use 2 if you do the quest twice. Otherwise, you can even use, if you cannot get Strong Arrow for some reason or you lost your Strong Arrow, use an Archer Ring. You can use a Marksman Treasure. You can even use 2 Marksman Treasure if you're in New Game Plus. This one is quite easy to get as well. And Archer's Ring from tutorial, quite good actually. For Amulet, you have 3 options. On this build, I really like the Heart of Flame because they fixed the bug that it had. Now you apply burning pretty much all the time, almost immediately. So this one is really good because it allows us to have 2 dots up all the time without having to use fire arrows. The alternative to Heart of Flame would be Witchglass. I like this much less, and in New Game Plus I didn't see that much difference in dot damage. So Heart of Flame is for me. If you are short on crit, Stone Warden Talisman is always an option. This one is from the Blacksmith questline in Act 2. You need to save the lost boy from the mine. I know that sounds weird, but it is what it is. For back item, several options. Ashen Veil from Act 3, very strong, comes very late however. Dual Knight Cape from Abigor, it's an option. Or you can use the Ranged Cape from Act 1, that is also an option. Or the other option will be Winged Cavalier Backplate. It will give you much crit, however it will have a higher strength requirement. Let's look at our stats. These are my final stats. As you can see, with 100% ranged critical chance, on this build you want to have 100% ranged critical chance because this is how we self-heal and we can sustain our bow. Ranged damage is also on a decent number and we have equal amount of critical damage. Okay, fine, but how do I allocate stats? Very simple. 5 points in dexterity, 3 in endurance. Now you can use Sanguine Sting, pump that dexterity to 8, endurance to 4. Now, gather the stuff you need for Corpsebinder, craft your Corpsebinder, and now you can use Corpsebinder and the bow. Afterward, I would put 10 points in Perception to help out with your crit. Then I would put 3 points in Practicality. This is a requirement for the cross set. Then pump that endurance up to 10, dexterity up to 10. Let's start to put some point in strength. For now, I would put 6. You can put more if you want, it depends on your gear. Then we're gonna put some more points in Perception, then in dexterity, then 2 points in endurance for a requirement. And with this, you can equip all the items that I add on my gear. You can equip literally everything. Afterward, start to slowly balance your Perception and your dexterity, depending on the item that you're switching. Make sure you're always keeping that critical chance up. Alright, let's look at our skill tree very quickly. This is gonna be my suggested order. We start in dexterity, 2 points in strong arm of the bowmaster, 3 points in marksman, 1 point in proper draw technique, 1 point in eagle eye, and max a natural focus. Practicality, 3 points in exploitation of affliction, go in perception, 3 points in extra lucky, critical cascade, 1 point in respite of cruelty, 1 point in aegis, 2 points in bloodthirst. This way you can start to benefit from the self-healing even with your crit still kind of meh, you know. Afterward we go in strength, 1 point in brutish fighter, 3 points in mighty blow. Mighty blow will work with bows. This is how we drain stamina. This is how we stagger, which adds another layer of defensive utilities for our build. We don't get anything else here, so those 4 points are mandatory. They will help you a lot. We go back in practicality. 3 points in potent poison, 2 points in stacking peril. Then we go back in perception. Max go for the eyes, put 2 points in deep wound, and max critical aegis. Now we're gonna go in red death. 3 points in plague warden, 1 point in crying pain, 2 points in long regret, 1 point in grieved eye enemies. Max generation with damage will work with our dots. This is a dot build after all. Max crying pain, give in and give up. Let's go back in dexterity. Lucky shot, ideally depending on how much you're progressing the game. When you start to use titanium arrows, get lucky shot. If you are rushing in the game and you're ending up in Act 3 low level, get lucky shot earlier. This is my advice to you. We go back in practicality, we're gonna get Rising Scourge. We go back in dexterity. We are gonna put 2 points in deadly aim. And then cheater trick shot and piercing volley. Then we go in perception, we max respite in cruelty, then we go in practicality, born in armor needs to be maxed, then we go back in red death, whipping success, then we go in perception, 3 points in silent hunter, 2 points in assassin doctrine, 3 points in wolf amongst sheep. These points are optional, but we still benefit from this. In dexterity, 1 point in agility, 1 point in fast reflexes, 1 point in temporal sleep. In endurance, 3 points in increased vitality, 3 points in armored skin, put 1 last point in deep wounds, 2 points in swift and fierce, 3 points in strong back. If you want, you can get strong back earlier. 3 points in rack them up. By now, your core build already exists. The rest of the points can be put anywhere you want. So, some people were concerned about the HP loss in Act 1. How can you mitigate losing 5 HP each time you shoot a bow? Well, the main solution is food. Well, if you already played the game far enough, you already know about the cheese spell. But for everyone else, my advice is as soon as you get your bow, go do the cheese quest that starts here. It will give you a spell that will allow you to produce an infinite amount of cheese. Then you just discover the recipe by fusing together 3 pieces of cheese, and that's enough. Also, in case you were not aware, you can eat multiple instances of food in combat, so the effects will stack up exponentially. And this is quite good to survive early on until your crit is up and you can start to leech health.
You've crossed the line.
Oh, you might. Thank you. Thank the kitchen.
You smell. You're not. Oh, this is. I can. You. To Leon, thank me.
To start the Children of Morrigan questline, you need to save Vidar from the cage here in Act 1. Afterward, you want to follow Vidar to the village. However, you want to betray Vidar and side with the self. Not only that, you will also need to progress the Children of Morrigan questline until Act 3, and in the final decision, I don't want to give spoilers, you want to side with self again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content, I guess. I don't know. Kinda little burned out with Tainted Grail. So I might need a little break, but it is what it is. Have fun playing the game, and I will see you in the next video.